Move in the opposite direction. The reason that you've been so stuck, the reason it feels like you keep coming up against the wall, no matter how much you're trying to budge this thing, no matter how many ways you're going about making it work, is because you're moving against the flow. You're moving against the direction that Holy Spirit is leading you, God is leading you, the universe is leading you. You're leaning in the opposite direction of all of that. Um, some of you, this could be with a job. It could be that there's a job that you've been trying to, let's say, like, the company's gonna be laying off people, and you're like, man, I don't want to be one of those people to lay off, and you just been doing everything. But let's say the layoffs hasn't even happened, but as you're doing your best, you're doing even better, you're doing even more work. Let's say for some reason your salary got cut, or something's going on funny with your check, or they're like, oh well, we had to cut your benefits, and you're like, man, I'm working my butt off to not lose this job for when they lay people off, and I'm already taking losses before the layoff. That's an example. That's like going against the grain. It's like Holy Spirit is giving you nudges like, this ain't it, right? And a lot of times, I must interject and say this, a lot of times we'll get signs from the Holy Spirit. We'll get signs from God. And if we don't listen to those signs start to get to the point to where now we have no choice, but now we have to listen. Now we're in a situation where we don't have any choices. But if we listened when we were first getting those nudges, when we listened when those changes started to happen, then it wouldn't be so difficult. We wouldn't feel like we're stuck in a rock and a hard place. So, this isn't to say, I'm not even saying that to be like, so you should have listened. You should have listened to the, no, this happens to me as well. This has happened to me over several courses of my life where it's like, I'm going and, I'm trying to make something happen. I'm doing everything that I can do. Now I'm getting signs like, this might not be it. You're having problems with your accounts. You're having problems with this. Like, I remember one time I was working on a platform and I was paying my bills on this platform. It was like another platform where I could do like freelance work and stuff. And one of my accounts got completely shut down for no reason. Like, this is literally in the middle of the month. And I had a whole bunch of jobs lined up that got canceled immediately. And then I couldn't even get the money that I had in my, so it was crazy. I had to wait like 90 days before I could get all the money that was owed to me. And I remember, now that was when everything came crashing down. Then I was forced to do something else. And the craziest thing is that this is going to be a segue, but the craziest thing is that's when I started my Patreon for the first time. Now, for those of y'all who are unfamiliar, y'all, my links are below, patreon.com/prettyboss.tv. Okay. So with that being said, that's when I started my Patreon. And that ended up being something that was just successful in so many ways. Beyond financially, I was able to really build my community. That's when we were doing a lot of events and meet and greets, and I was able to build with a lot of people that we were on the same page at that point of our journeys at the time, and it was super dope. And I literally went from losing one situation to creating that, which I still have my Patreon today. And oh, we turned back up, baby. We started back at the basics, so we building again from scratch. If you're ready to come be down with the family, Pretty Boss and Pretty Boss community, Pretty Boss moguls, Pretty Bosses and handsome bosses, we back community style. We getting it in over there, so y'all join us. I said that to say, if I'd listened when I was having problems with my account, sometimes it'd be funny things that happen, and it would be like, man, this platform's acting crazy. But I would still stay there, even though I was getting little red flags here and there. But I was like, no, I'm good. I'm making my money. And then I didn't listen. And then everything came crashing down to where I was forced to move in another direction. So for some of you, that's what you're dealing with right now. It's like you. The reason it feels so stuck is because you're moving in the wrong direction. Like, you're moving against the grain. I know that might be like, well, we have free will, so why God or the universe can't just support my free will? Well, especially when you're a chosen child of God, I can't speak for the world. I can't speak for everybody's lives. But I know for a fact, when you're chosen, like when you're a child of God, the word tells us we were bought with a price. So we get to live a fabulous, blessed life. We get to live in that peace, but obedience is those things that we receive are as a result of obedience when you're a child of God. I can't speak for how everybody else reaps what they reap in life, but children of God, it's like we kind of, when we move in the way that we were instructed, that our creator instructed us to move and conduct ourselves, then you'll start to see like, wow, I feel blessed. I got peace. Everything starts to line up. But when we go against that grain, that's when we feel beat up. That's when we feel stuck. That's when we feel like God must really be against me right now. Like God is big tripping. Like, God, you can't just support me in this. But it's really because you're being redirected to something that's going to bring you so much more joy. There's something that you think you want. And this is all tied into the same word. There's something that you think that you want, and it's not coming together for you. It could be a job. It could be a business that you've been trying to create. It could be a house. Let's say you're like, man, I really wanted this house. I wanted to stay over here. It could be a relationship. I did do a video yesterday called They're Not Who You Think They Are. Remember, when you listen to prophetic messages, it should be confirmation. And even then, remember that it's always important to continue to follow your intuition. Every video that I post, even if you resonate with this channel, it's like, yo, at some point, every video is not going to be for you, right? Because there's so many people that watch this channel. So always take it with a grain of salt. Don't take a message and then be like, oh, this must be what's going on, and look at somebody crazy when you weren't even meant to look at that person crazy. Like I said, for some of you, it could be a relationship situation, friendship, whatever. But whatever it is that you're holding on to, it's like you're drowning in a cup of water. Like, what God has, the reason this stuff has not been working is because it's like you're swimming upstream and God's been like, no, just go over here. I'm going to put it like this because I want to give y'all some confirmation. I want to be helpful as possible with this message because I don't like to just give messages and then there's no solution. That's aggravating, just period. I feel like anybody who's doing any type of spiritual work, like the whole point is to give guidance, right? Or advice, something that is helpful, something that could bring a shift from whatever it is that you might be feeling or be stuck in. This is what I'm going to say. When you finally make your mind out about something, let's say it's a job, and let's say you make your mind up, you're like, you know, I watched this video. I know that I've been fighting with this job. I know that it's not looking good. Let me just make up my mind that, like, I'm leaving this job. I don't know where I'm going to go. I don't know if I'm going to have a job. If I need to sell some of my stuff, move, that's cool. But I'm leaving this job. Let's say you do that. In that moment, you're going to feel peace immediately. It's going to lift every single piece of stuckness that you have as soon as you go in the direction of where Holy Spirit is leading you. You see what I'm trying to say? It's like when you're feeling stuck, the reason that you feel stuck, I want you to think about this analogy I'm about to lay out. Let's say you have a stream. Let's say you have a river. And anybody ever been on a river? We just went on I was just canoeing the other day. It wasn't on a river this time, though. We were in a lake. But if you go on a river, you'll notice that rivers, they move like the waves, and the current is strong too in rivers. It looks so innocent, but them currents be strong on rivers. So you got to be careful in rivers, right? If you ever try to swim against a current in the river, you know already what I'm saying. Like, that's not happening. You're not gonna canoe up against the current. You're not gonna swim against the current. I don't care who you are. It's not happening, right? So in rivers, we don't be like, oh my God, why am I not moving? The current is pushing me this way. Like, why can I not break through the current? That's common sense. It's like, of course I can't break through the current. Like, I have to go with the flow of the river. Like, in those types of cases, it's common sense to us. But then when we are in real life and we're finding ourselves stuck, we don't realize, like, hold on, maybe I'm going in the wrong direction. Maybe I need to turn around. Okay? So with that being said, I wanted to say that to also say, some of you, and this is the last piece, I didn't even have this part when I was coming to bring this prophetic word. This is going to bring you a lot of balance when you finally decide to let something go. Now, it's two different cases how this is going to play out for y'all. For some of you, there's going to be something that you let go, and it's literally not going to leave. It's almost like God was testing you to see, like, do you trust, right? To see where you're at, to, test an ego. Even sometimes, family, sometimes we don't move in the right direction, family, just out of ego. well, I wanted to do this business and I've been working so hard. I've been working on this business for 10 years and it's crashing. Maybe it was successful at one point, but it's over. But out of ego, it's like, no, we don't know. Sometimes ego would not, you won't even know when to throw in the towel. It's okay. It's not, nothing's ever a failure. Everything is experiences, and it sets us up for our next and our bigger win than we had ever before. So some of you are going to make your mind up and let something go within your heart, and literally that's going to unblock you, and you're not even going to have to leave. So let's say you've been stuck in your business, or stuck in a job, or stuck in a relationship, or stuck in a house, or something like a living situation. As soon as you make your mind up, like, you know what, that's cool, I'm just gonna sell the house, I'm just gonna leave, I'm gonna relocate, I'm gonna go back with my parents, I'm gonna stop doing this business, I'm just gonna focus on something else, I'm gonna start over from scratch, go back to the drawing board. You know what, I'm gonna stop fighting this relationship, I'm just gonna let it go. Or you know what, I'm gonna stop thinking this person is manipulating me, and I'm just going to fall into, like, you know what, let me just open up. And if this ain't it, then this is not it. But at least I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt, to have faith that I'm dealing with a genuine person. Whatever that plays out for you. Some of you, when you make your mind up, it's going to be such a peace, and you're going to feel it in your body, that it's going to affect your actions. So some of you are going to go from feeling blocked. Then you decide, like, you know what, I'm willing to let whatever I need to let go, so that I can be in alignment with the Most High. And some of you, you're actually not even going to have to let go what you thought you was going to have to let go, if that makes sense. For some of you, you are going to have to let something go. And the only reason if there's anything that you have to let go, whether it's a business, whether it's a job, whether it's a house, a car, a relationship, whatever it is that you might have to let go during this time, it's literally for your own good. It's literally like that house that you was about to buy, that community or that city that you was about to buy that house in. Oh, it's about to go down. You're going to be like, thank God I didn't buy that house. Wow. God got me up out of there quickly. Now I see why nothing was lining up. Let's say it's a relationship and you decide to let it go. You're going to be like, whoa, this person was who? I had no idea. Like, and you might not get the confirmation right then. There could be 5 years from now. You're like, thank God. Wait, what's the song? Thank God. Thank God I dodged the bullet. I'm so over you, baby, good looking now. I wanted you back. I'm so through with that. 'Cause honestly, you turned out to be the... So that song just came through, but that's not just for relationships. It's like, it's going to be that house, going to be the best thing you never had. That business, that job, that friend, that business partner, that relationship. You fill in the blank. It's going to be the best thing you never had, if it is something that's moving out of your life. So don't look at it as like a loss. It's making me think of that meme that I've seen on social media where Yeshua, people call AKA Jesus. Y'all know I like to call Yeshua by his name. You see what I'm saying? So Yeshua, it's like this picture of Yeshua giving this kid, trying to tell the kid to give them a teddy bear. Like, I wish I had a teddy bear up here. It's like, I have this, I use these when I do my personal prophetic words. I do have personal prophetic words on prettybossTV.com now. I don't know, I just always cover my head when I'm doing personal prophetic words for some reason. Even though my head's always covered, I don't know, it's just when I do personal ones for some reason. That's why it's up here. Side note, so it's like a kid, Yeshua was like, give me your teddy bear. Let's say the teddy bear is this big, and the kid's like, no, but this is my favorite teddy bear. And behind Yeshua's back is like this super big teddy bear, right? And of course it's relative, but it's not to say that the bigger teddy bear was better than the smaller one, but we can use common sense and just assume that the girl in the picture would enjoy the big teddy bear better. That's what's happening here. So we got to trust. I didn't want to make this video too long. Move in the other direction, and you're gonna feel the peace come over you. For some of you, the last thing that I would say is, if you're having issues with this, because everything's gonna come into balance and then things are gonna flow. It's completely renewed passion's going to come in. Your finances are going to start flowing. Things are going to start balancing out, even emotionally. This is what I want to say before I say the next part too. Thank you, Holy Spirit, because I knew it was something I was delaying to say. That I was delaying so that I could also say on this message. For some of you, you think your entire life is in shambles, and it's not. It's like, literally, there's one thing that you're not listening to. It could be, you're like, no, my job situation's messed up, my house, my relationship, everything. But you're going to see that once you move in the direction of that one thing that's the true blockage, and you know what it is for you deep down. Deep down, you know what it is that you've been going back and forth about. Once you move in opposite direction of that, you're gonna realize that a certain peace comes over you, and that everything else that you thought was out of alignment, like you're gonna see that all of those other things come back into alignment, because it's literally like just one thing that's throwing your entire life off, that makes it seem like your entire life is failing, but it's not. It's just one thing that you're so resistant to that is affecting other aspects of your life. So you're gonna see, once you move in the opposite direction of this one thing, it's like everything's gonna come into balance. You're gonna be like, what was I doing? Why was I fighting myself? Right? Really fighting the Most High, fighting our purpose. But anyways, the last thing I wanted to say, I keep saying that, but this is an important message. Another thing that I want to say is, like, let's say you're struggling with this. Let's say it's a job situation, or let's say it's a home situation. What I recommend do is journaling. Where's my favorite journal? Pray, Manifest, Repeat, baby. PrettyBossMoguls.com. You know, this is where I get my journaling in. Pretty Boss Moguls, because we favorite around here. This is on the website too. Yeah, I had to wear. I love everything that you see. Right, is pdmoguls.com, prettybossmoguls.com. Links are below. But what you can do is take your Pretty Boss Moguls Pray, Manifest, Repeat notebook. Shouts out to everybody who has ordered one. I can't wait to see the pictures of them. And what you can do is write out the best from the best case scenario, how this could play out to the worst case scenario. That's gonna give you relief. Because sometimes we'll catastrophize things and have it in our head, and then it just feels like that's the only thing. But when you write down all the possibilities, even if you take it to the worst case scenario, it still will bring you release, because at least you got it on paper, and it's like, okay, now you got the big elephant out the room. Now let's move on. You see? So, anyways, family, I just wanted to tell y'all that I keep getting messages, so I keep looking. I think this is one of my customers from Pretty Boss TV. So, y'all definitely check me out on the website. Personal services, business, and prophetic are now available. PrettyBossMoguls.com. Also, I got a little bit of PBExclusive.com on too. Do y'all see the bling, family? Y'all see that bling bling? We got nice, exclusive, upscale jewelry pieces on PBExclusive.com. So PBExclusive.com for the exclusives for the women's boutique, and then we also got PB Moguls, which is our unisex merch, and PrettyBossTV.com in case you need any professional services from me, and even information about the Patreons on Pretty Boss TV. Okay, y'all be blessed. Move in the opposite direction. We got this. Talk to y'all soon. Y'all willing. Peace.